All right, top 8. Daniel Lynch with Suicune, Xander with Arceus, Inteleon, B-Barrel, Crobat, stuff. And we'll see who actually ends up winning the coin flip. It looks like Xander won the coin flip, so going first is a pretty big deal. I think you definitely want to go first. A lot of matchups, Suicune is fine going second, but generally you just want to go first as Suicune as well, because you have the potential to you do a turn 2 hit before Xander gets to do anything. So Ultra Ball from Xander, probably going to grab the Arceus. Gets rid of the Path to the Peak. You definitely want to see Path to the Peak come into play in this matchup as soon as possible. Like, the extra card that Suicune gets off its ability, like, a lot of times that's the difference between them doing something on their turn or, like, doing something big or doing something small. So I'm curious to know what the rest of the hand is that Xander would give up the Path to the Peak. There might be another Path to the Peak in there. We'll see. There's a Research in the hand for sure. I'm not sure what the rest of the hand was. Gets the Arceus. As a Drizzile, goes with another Ultra Ball for a Crobat. So playing heavily for the... I wonder if there's actually a sequence, though. Because Xander got rid of an Evolution Incense there. Could Xander have just played for the Melanie play instead on the following turn by holding... Because putting Crobat down is bad. Putting Crobat down is actually really, really bad in this matchup. Because not only does it put another Pokemon on your bench, so Finn is doing more damage... It's also just like 2 prize Pokemon that you can't give 280 HP. So Xander gets rid of the Evolution Incense there and then plays another Ultra Ball. But Xander could have gotten rid of something else off this Ultra Ball, held the Evolution Incense plus the other Ultra Ball, to then next turn go Evolution Incense for Starbirth for... But then I guess you'd be a card short. Well, you have the Drizzile in hand as well. That'd be assuming that the Suicune doesn't KO your active, which is a pretty safe bet. So Xander could have held the hand, I think, and played for like a Melanie play instead. But... I don't know. Xander could have also thought that Finn was playing the disruptive Suicune version that played Path. I mean, that doesn't matter. You don't want to give them their ability. Also, Xander knew exactly what Finn was playing. Xander knew exactly what Finn was playing. So I don't know. I think Xander maybe could have played this differently and played for like a Melanie play on the next turn. But because putting Crobat in play is really, really bad. Because not like they said, not only does it initially make your... not only does it give Finn plus 20 damage for every attack that Finn does, which you're trying to avoid as much as possible. It puts a 2 prize Pokemon in play. Was Melanie prize? It could have been. We can check. It's a good question. I don't know how many Melanie are played. There was no Melanie prize. I can't fully tell what's in the hand either, so I don't know if it's like there's a possible play there from Xander to do it, like to do the Melanie play and guarantee the attack. I don't think the attack is guaranteed off the Melanie. I think he would maybe need to draw a card off the Melanie, but putting Crobat in play is really, really bad. It effectively makes your Arceus have minus 20 HP, and then you can't... It's not like benching an Arceus V where you can make it a V-Star and then it has 280 HP. It's just a 2 prize Pokemon that's chilling on the bench with 180. So it's like a very easy target for Finn to take advantage of. So I don't... Like, you want to try and avoid putting Crobat in play literally at all costs. Does Xander play Melanie? Yeah, at least one. Alright, got the energy here. And I believe another Ultra Ball. So should be able to just go attach and then next turn Ultra Ball for the... And chose to keep Boss. Like so the card Xander chose to keep there was Boss, as opposed to getting rid of Boss and keeping one of the other cards. So could have kept Evolution Incense. Could have kept... could have put the Path to the Peak in play. I think those were both pretty reasonable choices as well, to be honest. I think those are both pretty reasonable. On Finn's side, Finn's just looking for a turn 1 attack here. Finn's just trying to pull off a turn 1 attack. KO this Sobble, take away any options of Shady Dealings, and then kind of go from there. So that's what Finn's looking for here. It's just like KO Sobble is what Finn ideally wants. And if you whiff that as Finn, then you're like, okay, set up to potentially one-hit KO an Arceus on the following turn. Unless Finn, it's possible Finn maybe wants to play this matchup where you chase 2 1 prizes or something. And Finn actually has the Melanie, so it's happening. So Finn already has like a pretty good hand here. And actually goes with a second Suicune, which is interesting. I guess there is the fear of your first Suicune getting KO'd here, which I'm sure Xander will try and do, because Finn can't guarantee the cape in this situation. So yeah, it goes with the Suicune. There's the Melanie for 3. Has another Quick Ball, so can definitely get some Sobbles in play. Footed. There we go. So benches the other Suicune. Attach to the active. So the one play that this does potentially open up for Xander is actually just boss the bench Suicune and trap it in the active, but Pretty unlikely to happen in general, I think. Debating going with another quick ball. Probably want to set up as much as possible here. It is giving up another quick ball, and then you can start to run out of. If you do that as Finn, if you quick ball away the quick ball there to grab like most likely another Sobble, you do start to run out of ways to find your other Pokemon. Quick balling by quick ball actually kind of sucks in Suicune. Quick balling in general doesn't feel good to do in Suicune because then you just start to run out of ways to find your Suicunes. So, all right, so Xander can get the KO here. Looks like Xander top deck path to the peak. I believe has another Ultra Ball, but you're losing like a lot of resources with every single Ultra Ball here. Another Ultra Ball happens, gets rid of the DTE and another, gets rid of another GTE or a GTE and Arceus V, and then gets the V Star. And if they have the Choice Belt though, if Xander has the Choice Belt, Xander can KO the Suicune. We'll have access to the Starbirth. I guess that's one reason you probably don't want to turn 1 path, right? Like I was talking about trying to get out the path as soon as possible, but turn 1 path means you don't get Starbirth, so it doesn't make a whole ton of sense to actually turn 1 path, right? Yeah, you want to use your Starbirth, and then you want a path after that. So you have to give them kind of that first free card, to be honest. Yeah, you have to give them that first free card. In my head, I was like, you want to path them as soon as possible, which you do want to do, but you probably want to use Starbirth before you path them anyways, though. It's a Choice Belt. Also got Marnie, I believe. So going with Disruption, maybe wanting to try and conserve some of the cards in the hand. Has the Water Energy in hand as well. So has the attack fully set up. And now has the path to the peak. So now can go path and shut down the, what's it called from Finn. I forget what the Fleet-footed. No more Fleet Feet from Finn. But got a level ball, so should be able to attack again with Suicune. It's just like, can they get the one-hit KO is the question. And should Xander even put another basic Pokemon into play here? So what's the damage? Let's do the damage real fast. 120, 140, 160. Choice Belt is 190 plus Candy Ludicolo would be the KO. So if you bench a Pokemon here as Xander, you do make it so Finn can actually knock out your active. Finn would need a lot, but if you don't bench anything, I don't think Finn can get the knockout. So I don't know about benching something here as Xander. We'll see. Xander could just be betting on him not being able to pull it off. Goes with double basic waters onto the bench Arceus. But there might be a water prize, so then you can get off the prize cards and you should be good from there. There is a water prize, does not pull it though, it looks like. So the next Arceus actually just can't attack right now. And if Finn whiffs the one-hit KO, then Finn just kind of goes into find Cape the, ideally find Cape the Suicune and kind of protect it like that. There's a Melanie in the hand, so Finn already has the Melanie. Level ball as well. The first thing to kind of debate here is, do you want to draw into basic Pokemon off the Melanie? And if you don't, then you want to find the basic Pokemon right now. And Finn can actually almost fill up. I think Finn can actually fill the bench here. Has the capture energy, then I believe has a Sobble plus a level ball. So it could literally fill the bench here with the Pokemon, and then has a level ball or has a Drizzile in the hand, I think, as well, which could become anything off of the Shady Dealings. So we'll see how it goes. So it is possible, I think, for Finn to actually get the knockout here. It's very unlikely, though, I think. I don't think it's pretty unlikely. The Melanie would have to be like Candy Ludicolo or Choice Belt Ludicolo, and then the Candy would have to come off the Drizzile. I guess you could get all three of them. Oh, forgot to put the... captured the Sobble to the hand. Goes to the bench now. There's the 3-off Melanie. Doing the math. I think Finn has it. I think Finn maybe drew the Choice Belt there. We'll see. So only took one basic out of the deck and then hold on to the level ball, which is interesting. Instead of going to find another basic. But I could have been wrong about Finn having a Drizzile in the hand. I think Finn actually has the knockout here. And it would be a pretty big knockout, especially because Xander's next Arceus is not set up to be able to attack with yet. So Xander needs to find a V-Star and an Energy. I think Finn might be debating not going for the KO here, or maybe just doesn't have the KO here. So there was a Shady Dealings for a level ball, which makes me think Finn does not have the KO here. But then I think you'd want to get your Cape out on your Suicune, which Finn did not do. Because if you give Xander another 2-prize knockout, I think that's when you start to get in trouble here as Finn. So, but it is just a hit. So chooses to not get the Cape. Maybe didn't quite have the play to fill up the bench and get the Cape. So it's got what, 160. I guess it sets up for Finn to attack with the Shady Dealings Inteleon next turn. So maybe that's what Finn is going with. And then you go on the odd prize after that. Cape was prized, I believe. Was it prized? Maybe I missed the Cape being prized. I didn't really look at the prize cards in this one, to be honest. Cape was prized. Yeah, Cape was prized. You are right. Okay, so can't go for the Cape here. Don't mind me. But this sets up for Finn to actually just attack next turn with the Shady Dealings Inteleon. That KOs the Arceus. So the only thing you're afraid of here as Finn, like the only thing you don't want to see here as Finn is Charon's Care. But if they Charon's Care, they don't want to carry your Suicune. So this actually ends up being like a pretty fine spot for Finn, actually, to be honest. Because if they Charon's Care, they can't actually carry your Suicune. So maybe this big charm placement here was a mistake from Xander. Because if you top deck Charon's Care as Xander, then you want to be able to use it. The big charm does kind of protect this Arceus from getting KO'd, though. Does it? Or when did the big charm hit the field? I think it hit it last turn, right? And there's another attack from Xander. Actually, it has a water energy. Maybe that was out of hand or the prize cards to the Arceus. So, but now Finn's just going to go attack with Shady Dealings Inteleon, most likely, and then look to go into more Suicunes from there. Did prize the Suicune, but plays 4. Yeah, the Cape is prized. Xander is down to 2 prize cards, though. So Xander just needs to set up another attacker. Here. And then Xander's going to be in a really good spot. So Xander will get the KO on this. If Xander can find a V-Star, Xander will get the KO on this Inteleon. And then needs to have another attacker after that. The problem is Xander is running out of energy. Xander is running out of energy in this situation. So just need to go Raihan from Finn, then you get the attack, and you get the knockout on the active. You probably set up the 20 damage on the bench Arceus V-Star. And then Finn still needs to draw 3 prize cards after that. That is the problem here for Finn, is Finn still needs to draw 3 prize cards after this. There's the Raihan. Probably don't want to search out... I mean, you could put like a Suicune in your hand, I guess. Benching it would feel a little weird, but... Yeah, on this previous turn, Xander maybe should have held the big charm just in case you top deck Charon's Care. Then you can Charon's Care the active Arceus, put the choice belt here, and then KO the... could have had KO'd that last Suicune with a fresh Arceus instead. But it depends what I don't know what the damage numbers would have been to KO the Arceus V on the bench. All right, another Shady Dealings from Finn. Just needs to set up for like a big Ludicolo play on the following turn. That's what Finn's setting up for, is a big Ludicolo play on the following turn. Potentially Candy double Ludicolo. Grabs an Evolution Incense. That'll be able to find some pieces next turn. I'm sure would love to bench another Sobble right now. If Finn has a Sobble to bench, I'm sure Finn would bench a Sobble. We'll see. Might not have a Sobble, though. Like I said, probably doesn't want to bench a Suicune down. But I don't think it would be terrible, and actually is thinking about it. And goes with the Suicune bench. And then knockout on the Arceus. 20 on the benched Arceus. So it does end up benching the Suicune here. I guess there's no real way for Xander to actually take advantage of that, though. I don't think Xander can, like... They definitely can't boss KO at this turn. Unless Xander has... No, Xander could. Because Xander does play Zigzagoon. So Xander would just need V-Star, boss, Zigzagoon, KO the Suicune to win this game now. The reason Finn would want to bench the Suicune is if Finn doesn't feel like they can scoop up net anything on this board state on the next turn. Like, it can't go out of the way to get a scoop up net or use a scoop up net or anything like that. So Xander does win here if they have the cards, but I don't think Xander has the cards here. I don't think Xander has very much at all. There's a level ball, so there is the Drizzile, which becomes a draw supporter. Go with the Marnie. Goon Prize still. Oh, it was Goon Prize? Yeah, I didn't pay attention to the prize cards at all. I have to pay attention to the prize cards in the next game for sure. Yeah, Goon is prize. Never mind. I don't know if Xander has the play in hand. But yeah, Goon is prize. There's definitely the boss in hand because Xander took that on the last... Well, actually, yeah, if Xander actually didn't have Goon Prize, I think Xander probably did have it here, to be honest. Goes with the research. I would have gone with a Marnie if there was a Marnie in the deck, but there might not be a Marnie left for Xander here. Because you did just see Finn kind of set up their hand on the last turn with like the Shady Dealings for the Evolution Incense, and stuff like that. So I think as Xander, I would have gone for a Marnie here. Like they had so much time to play with the hand. I think Xander would have done the same. They might not have access. The second Marnie might be in the discard pile. I'm pretty sure they play 2 Marnie. I can actually look that up. And then just hope, like you have a less chance of getting your Arceus V-Star, but you just like hope that hope you hit it, I think. Oh, only 1 Marnie. Actually, Xander only plays 1 Marnie. Never mind. So the Marnie's gone and done. And it looks like Xander whiffed the... It looks like Xander whiffed the VMAX here. We don't see the VMAX coming out. It's not looking good for Xander here. It looks like there's no VMAX. Oh, he did. No, they did. He did pal pad the Marnie back into the deck. So would have had the Marnie through the pal pad, yeah. I'm not paying enough attention. So now it becomes really awkward for Xander. All right, Xander's gonna go with the hit. I don't know about this hit though. It does set it up to be quick shooting. Plus Goon pinged, but you know you don't have Goon as Xander. Finn could have been in a ridiculously good spot if Finn hadn't benched the Suicune, I feel like. Now, but of course you don't know that Xander's going to whiff. But if Xander doesn't whiff, do you ever win the game, I guess is kind of the question. Xander does end up whiffing. Inteleon's got 130 on it. So this should put Finn in a pretty good spot. But I guess the problem is that Finn can't win on this turn still. And then still has a Suicune in play. But I don't think there's much threat on your Suicune right now. Yeah, I don't think your Suicune, as long as you KO the active, your Suicune doesn't, there's not that much threat of your Suicune getting knocked out. I don't know if Finn has the cape yet, because Finn could KO the active with a caped Suicune, and then be just fine. We'll see. Has a huge hand, like I mentioned. Has a huge hand with a ton of options. That's why I kind of would have liked to have seen the Xander from Marnie, the Marnie from Xander last turn. The Xander from Marnie. Maybe Xander was thinking about saving it for this turn, though. Was thinking about playing the Marnie this turn instead, which I guess is pretty reasonable, to be honest. But at that point, you're just looking for the boss to win. I feel like more so than anything. Xander, you're looking for the boss to win the game. But maybe that's why Xander didn't really care about Marnie their opponent here, because Xander's thought process was maybe just get the V-Star, knock out the Inteleon, set up the Arceus, boss KO something off the bench, win the game. And they never really, you don't care what your opponent has because they can never win before you, which is, I guess, is also a fair thought process there from Xander, to just be like, okay, I just win the game. The question is just like, when you whiff, you'd rather have them not have as big of a hand is the thing, I guess. But yeah, the Melanie to the Suicune. And I think Finn is going to be looking for the KO on the active. If Finn got the cape off the prize cards, which I'm not sure if Finn did or didn't yet, you can actually just KO the active here and then set up for just a cross switcher play on as one of the bench Pokemon after that, and then basically just win the game, I think. Or going with the cross switcher play. Thinking about, I'm sure that going with a KO on Sobble or Drizzile. Goes after the Sobble. I like that as well, I think. I think going after Sobble makes the most sense. I don't know what the discard pile looks like for Xander. There's the Scoop Up Net reset. Back into the Inteleon. Now this once again makes things a little bit weird. Now I don't know if Finn knows that Xander plays a Zigzagoon, or maybe has the read that Xander's Zigzagoon is prized. Because right here, Xander could go quick shooting, Zigzagoon ping, boss, win the game. Yeah, so I don't know if Finn knows that Xander plays a Zigzagoon, or just knows it's prized. But I'm pretty sure the quick shooting Inteleon is still in Xander's deck, which I'm sure Finn knows that Xander plays a quick shooting Inteleon, but might not know about the Zigzagoon, to be honest. It is prized. I don't know. There might have been some point in this game actually where Xander basically it was basically telegraphed to Finn that it was prized, and Xander did not draw a prize card last turn. There's the Echoing Horn, puts another Arceus on the bench, so a ton of targets on the bench for Finn to close out the game on the two prize Pokemon. And right here would also be a pretty good turn for Xander to play the Marnie, to be honest, and disrupt the hand of Finn. But Finn does just need double cross switcher at this point, though. So as long as they're in the deck, which they are, because there was none prized. Finn thinning out the deck for if the Marnie does happen, it's not going to be as big of a deal. There goes the hit, and then 20 onto the other Arceus. And finally gets the cape out of the prize cards. Yeah, didn't have the cape last turn. I wasn't sure if the cape was in the hand last turn. The Goon is still prized for Xander. The Goon would be very good here. Xander even has the quick shooting in the hand. So the Goon being prized is pretty rough here for Xander. Can get the knockout on the active, though, with a quick shooting Inteleon. Can get the knockout on the active with a quick shooting Inteleon here with the DTE. And then leaving a one prizer on the active here for Xander. Which I'm sure is what Xander's going to go with. But then you also want to find the Marnie this turn. And I don't know how big Finn's hand is, but you have to assume that Finn probably has the win in the hand. So you ideally want the Marnie. There's a research, though, so no Marnie. So I think that means Finn probably has game in hand on this next turn. We'll see. The Doof comes down. The Quick Shooting Inteleon will get the KO, but it shouldn't matter. I think Finn... That was almost definitely... I'm almost positive Finn has the KO. JD Dealings. Double cross switcher up, Crobat, and then knockout Crobat. That's why I was saying Crobat was such a terrible thing in the beginning. At the way it played out, it didn't really matter that Crobat was in the in play. To be honest, it didn't really matter too much that Crobat was in play, but you definitely want to try and avoid it. Okay, let's take a look at the prize cards. A cross switcher in the last 2 for Finn is not great, because that means by the time you use your first 2 cross switcher, by the time you get to your last 2, you're not going to be able to cross switcher. So that's actually a pretty big prize. This is a pretty big prize card because of where it's prized. If this was in the first 4, it wouldn't matter. Double net being in the middle here is like okay. It depends on how the early game goes for Finn and if you want the nets earlier. But this is probably fine. Like the nets being here is like fine. Finn only plays 3 net as well, I believe, not 4. It's actually pretty good prize cards for Xander, besides the second boss being in the last 2. But 2 Path to the Peak being prized is actually like good, because you just need to get that first Path to the Peak in play, and then it just sits in play for the rest of the game. You don't care. The second boss being in the last 2 prize cards is not great. But generally, Xander's going to be wanting to KO the Suicunes that are in the active. It kind of depends on the situation. So this could be hurt Xander a little bit. The second boss being in the last 2. The 2 Path being in the prize cards in general is super good, as long as you find that first path at a reasonable time, because you don't want to give Suicune those free cards. You want to use your Starbirth and take away their free cards as soon as possible. So the 2 Path being in the prize cards is like a good thing, as long as you find your 3rd path soon enough. And the Water Energy being here is probably fine as well. There's 4 others in the deck, so shouldn't hurt him too much. But yeah, that's nothing too big in the prize cards. I guess those are the biggest things in the prize cards, but they're not always going to come up. I think the worst prize card here is the cross switcher in the last 2 here for Finn. That's the worst possible prize card out of all of these prize cards is this one for Finn. So we'll see if it makes a difference, though. So Xander goes first, gets the Arceus start, has the level ball. So good start here from Xander. Just needs the energy, and they're going to be cruising. Going to start to set up a Sobble as well. And yeah, just an energy. Just needs the energy on the Arceus, and then they'll be cruising here. You do not have to take your prize cards from bottom up, but you should. I think it should just be enforced how you draw your prize cards. There's like no reason, like it shouldn't be enforced, but it should just be like everyone should draw the prize cards just in like an orderly manner. There's no reason not to. If you just don't do it, the only thing you do is draw suspicion to yourself as if you possibly could be cheating. Okay, so Xander whiffed the energy attachment here. I don't know what the hand is, but now Xander's gonna have to be looking for that Melanie turn 1, and it's not prized, so there is the possibility of it. But that's definitely rough for Xander to whiff the attachment. You lose so many lines of play when you don't have the turn 1 energy attachment here. Over to Finn. Finn has quite a few Pokemon in the hand and has the Keep Calling, so pretty reasonable hand here from Finn. Has double Lotad in the hand, but is only benching 1. Is choosing to only bench 1 Lotad there, which is interesting. It's interesting to bench 1 Lotad, but not 2 here from Finn. I guess Finn is thinking about trying to keep the bench space open for double Suicune on the next turn, I would assume. But putting any Lotad in play, I guess in this situation, putting a Lotad in play is always fine, because Xander can't boss KO Lotad, so you don't really care. So if you get Marnied here, having the option of Ludicolo is just nice. Also, I guess you don't want to fill up your bench, because it's also possible Xander whiffs the KO this turn. So if you fill up your bench, then it's harder for you to get a Suicune in play without burning a net, which you might not want to do. So yeah, I guess you just don't really want to put that other Lotad down. Quick ball from Xander. Hopefully doesn't end up finding Crobat here, but it might end up finding Crobat here. Yeah, like I said, Crobat is a terrible Pokemon to put in play in this matchup if you can avoid it. Loses a boss as well. So now Xander has access to no boss at all until he finds the Palpad. And probably won't get access to the last 2 prize cards until the end of the game, so won't have access to that boss either. Gets the Bidoof. And I don't know if he's going to bench it at all or not here, but I don't like the idea of benching it if you're going to play a draw supporter this turn. Benches the Doof. Is it bench Doof pass? Choice spelled active. Had the Melanie in hand, but has to go with the research. Yeah, I don't like benching Bidoof here. So that's like another Pokemon in play, and now you have to play around having another Pokemon in play. I think if I was Xander there, I would have just researched. I would have maybe taken the Doof and discarded him. But you probably don't even want to do that because then it can get Echoing Horned. So you just like play the quick ball, don't grab anything, research. Because like you can try and play at, like you can be like, all right, theoretically I'm going to play at a 3 Pokemon bench. But as the game actually plays out, you might have to put more Pokemon in play, or you might have to discard a Pokemon, and then that gets Echoing Horned, and then you end up with a bigger and bigger bench until the point where like it's out of control and Finn's just winning the game because you benched that doof to begin with. So, especially with Starbirth still available to Xander, I think you could have played a little bit more conservatively and just like not put something down there. We'll see how it ends up impacting the game. I see the DTE, so we can see the Trinity Nova here. Goes with a level ball, so we should see a Drizzile. I hope not a Sobble, because then there's more Pokemon. So probably not going to grab a Sobble here, but it looks like probably, and has got the Path to the Peak as well. So we could see the, I guess you can't Trinity Nova and Starbirth. That makes it a little bit awkward for Xander, but you don't have to Path to the Peak this turn, I guess. You can just go with like the Trinity Nova and then use your Starbirth next turn. I'm kind of like stressing getting the Path to the Peak in play because I've had so many games with Suicune where it's like my hand sucks until I use Fleet-Footed and then my hand is great. So you definitely want to limit it as much as possible, but Finn doesn't even have like a Suicune in the active yet, so who knows if there'll be one in the active at the end of the next turn. There probably will be, but you never know for sure. So gets the Arceus here from Xander. And then I don't know if they're going to evolve the active. So they evolve both, actually. Xander ends up evolving both and attaching to the bench. And then pass. Okay. So it doesn't go with the Trinity Nova. Just wants to protect the prize cards. I guess I like that play overall as well. You just protect your... Don't give up any cheap 2 prize Pokemon to Finn. Don't give Finn any like cheap, like easy knockouts. Just like keep everything. And I like that. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of the doof. I'm not a huge fan of doof on the bench because in the current situation, if Finn has a full bench and Xander has 3 Pokemon in play on the bench, what Xander does, that's 180. Right, 120, 140, 160, 180. That's 180. So 1 Candy Ludicolo KOs the active. So Finn does not need the Choice Belt. And if Xander has the Big Charm, the Choice Belt negates the Big Charm. So, yeah, like I said, I don't like the doof bench here overall. And it's one of those things where it's like, it feels bad to not get the doof because you're like, well, if I don't get the doof, then I don't have any draw power. It's like, but if you just give your opponent so many more lines of play available to them, then they're just gonna win anyways, right? Like it's not like it's doing 2 things, right? It's limiting your lines of play, but it's also limiting your opponent. So there's like a little bit of a balance to it where it's like sometimes for you to actually have a higher chance to win the game, you have to open up lines of play for yourself, even if it means opening lines of play for your opponent. But in this situation, I think I definitely like doof chilling in the deck instead of being where he is. Putting the doof where it is, I'm not a huge fan of the doof where it is. Okay, so Finn gives up the Echoing Horn, which is a huge discard. That is a huge discard on Finn's side. So gives up the Echoing Horn off the rip here. I'm curious to know what the rest of the cards in the hand were that you'd get that you'd give up that from Finn there, because that's a huge card to have access to. There's the Fleet-Footed. Here comes the draw 3, and see right there. Look how important that Fleet-Footed was. Hang on, I want to go back to that. Look at that. The 4th card on the draw, maybe it doesn't matter too much. You could have Melanied into it anyways. But let's just say it's the 4th. Like, if say the Fleet-Footed gives you the energy, I guess in this situation you Melanie into it anyways. But you get all the other cards. The extra card from Fleet-Footed is just huge. That's all I'm trying to say. So on the last turn, to be honest, as Xander, I would have hated to see Starbirth plus Path to the Peak if Xander knew what they wanted off the Starbirth. Because, you know, Fleet-Footed's a big deal. Getting rid of their Fleet-Footed's a big deal. I think Finn has a knockout here if they want to go for it as well. I think Finn can KO this Arceus. And this comes back to benching the Bidoof. So, and there was no Pokemon in the discard pile to put on the bench there, I don't think. So when Xander went with the research play, Xander could have played the Quick Ball and just not got anything, right? Xander could have played the Quick Ball and then not gotten anything. Xander didn't like need to take something off the Quick Ball when they got the Bidoof. They didn't actually need to. They didn't need to take anything off the Quick Ball. They could just like failed it, right? So, and then yeah, here. So the Bidoof was on the bench, and now the KO happens, right? So I like I said, I don't like the Bidoof. You open up more lines of play for yourself, but you also open up lines of play for your opponent. So you have to like choose which is better. Which is better? Is it better to not give my opponent the lines of play and reduce my lines of play, or is it better or my lines of play outweigh my opponent's lines of play? You know. So there it is. Gets the Evolution Incense, gets the Ludicolo. And it's not that hard for the Suicune deck to pull these plays off. So you should kind of like play like they're always going to happen, to be honest. And then, yeah, Finn gets the KO. I forget what Finn pulls off the prize cards here. Not into the scoop up nets yet, which is a pretty big deal. And now Xander lost the choice belt as well. Xander also lost the choice belt there, which means it's not possible for Xander to get the KO on the Suicune unless you pull off like you need like Zigzagoon plus quick shooting plus attack, but then that's another bench Pokemon you're putting down in the Zigzagoon. Thankfully, Finn's fan is gone, or Echoing Horn is gone, so you don't have to worry about that. But still, it's like another Pokemon that's ending up on your bench. We'll see how this one plays out. And there's the discard. Okay, so I really don't like this Path to the Peak discard because Xander should know that there's 2 Path to the Peak prized here. Taking away Suicune's Fleet-Footed is just really good. Getting rid of their Fleet-Footed is just really good. So I don't like this Path to the Peak discard here from Xander because Xander should know that the other 2 Paths to the Peak are prized. You know, you should check your prize cards. So we're just going to assume Xander checked their prize cards. They know two Paths to the Peak are prized. And now Finn just has Fleet-Footed. And like I know it's just one card, but in the Suicune deck, when you have stuff like Shady Dealings, finding specific cards turn after turn after turn, getting that one extra card and just seeing like one other trainer card that works with your combo, because like your combos are like 4 or 5 cards with this Suicune deck. So if you just Fleet-Footed into one of those 4 pieces, it opens up the door for so many other bigger plays, or actually being able to pull off a big play on the turn as opposed to not. So I don't like this discard. I'm curious to see what the rest of the cards in Xander's hand were. But still has Starbirth to work with as well. So I feel like there's no reason for this Path to the Peak to be discarded here when you have Starbirth. Like, you know you have Starbirth. There's the water. Okay, so all these cards were really important. All these cards were really important. So maybe it was a little bit too hard to... But you could have discarded the water energy maybe instead of the Path to the Peak, drawn 4 off B-Barrel, hold the Path to the Peak, and then use Starbirth afterwards, play Path to the Peak, and then still be fully set up. I don't know how many water energy Xander is down, so this might be important. And I think there is there any prize? I actually forget if there's any prize. But yeah, getting rid of the Fleet-Footed as soon as possible when you can is pretty good. The draw there from Xander is lackluster. Does get the Big Charm. Can go get the Zigzagoon, so can get the KO here. For sure. Definitely can get the KO. There's the Starbirth. That's the Goon. Yeah, there's plenty of water left in the deck. Like I said, like I just like to see the... And actually get some more. It looks like going for Marnie as well. So going for just some disruption here. 2 water prized. I thought was that in game 1 though? I thought that was in game 1. Maybe it is. Maybe there is 2 water prized. Ping active, and then we'll see the quick shooting on the active at the end. But still got the Fleet Feet working here. And then even when Xander draws these first 2 prize cards, of course Xander doesn't know this, but there's going to be no no what's it called to work with. Going with the Ultra Ball. I think gonna go get an Arceus here, and then load it up. Let me count the damage right here. Once again, Xander doesn't have to bench this turn. We'll see if Xander ends up benching this. So 120, 140, 160, 180, 200, 300. Okay, so benching this Arceus doesn't really change anything because we're looking at 120. Oh, I guess there's no Ludicolo threat anyways, though, because there's no Lotad on the bench. So yeah, this doesn't matter at all. So now on Finn's side, this is like the time to use this is the time to either go with like a... Ooh, let me count again. 120, 140, 160, 180, 200. So Finn could get double cross switcher KO on the bench Arceus V with a choice belt. So Finn could go for that play. I think it's more likely we see Finn probably attack with a caped Suicune or the Shady Dealings Inteleon, though. I think that's more likely what we're going to see here from Finn. Yeah, Path still chilling. So I think we'll probably see Shady Dealings Inteleon attack, or the caped Suicune would be like pretty reasonable as well, I think. Especially because there's no threat of the choice belt anymore, so Xander can't get the 1-hit KO on that Suicune anymore. So we'll see what Finn ends up going with. There's a Shady Dealing, so has pretty much access to... Should have access like either of those plays. Goes with the Melanie, so I think we are going to see the Suicune attacking. This time the cape isn't prized, I'm pretty sure. So the cape is... Like, we could have the cape here. And you definitely want the cape here as Finn. You don't just want to attack with a Suicune that doesn't get a 1-hit KO unless it has the cape. Because otherwise... Xander can just go quick shooting plus net the Goon and knock out the Suicune again. So we're looking for a cape. We're looking for the active move. We're looking for a punch into the Arceus. And then go from there. Maybe you go into the Shady Dealings Inteleon. You just want the Suicune to survive a turn. Has the cross switchers though. So maybe has actually maybe has just the KO here with the choice belt. We'll see. Let's see if the Fleet-Footed ends up mattering. I couldn't tell what the card was. But any count of cards definitely is relevant. I think actually maybe got the capture energy. Hold up. I forget how much this actually moves. I can't tell what they got there. Goes with the capture though. So it has the swing here. Here comes the Shady Dealings. One of the Drizzles can evolve. I'm not sure which one. And then I can get the Choice Belt knockout here. Can have the Choice Belt for the KO here. The question is, do you want to go for it? And it seems pretty good to me. And then from here, as Finn, you can go... You KO this with the Choice Belt. And then you go into the Shady Dealings Inteleon to attack with next turn. And then set up the 2-hit KO on the Arceus. And then you just knock out the Arceus to win the game. And Xander doesn't really have any other attacker besides the Arceus. Like, the only attacker Xander really has is Arceus. So, resets the Shady Dealings Inteleon. We might see the Sobble come back down. I guess it's possible we don't. Another Shady Dealings coming out from Finn. Curious to see what the grab is off this. Maybe wanted another... Let's see. Maybe wanted a Scoop Up Net to reset the Ludicolo. Could also just go with a Lotad. It does have to get something to find the Lotad, though. Just can't grab Lotad. So you need a Level Ball or a Quick Ball. Yeah, wants a Ludicolo option. Am I missing something here? Did Finn not grab a... I'm confused. Maybe they catch it later on. Hold up. What is Finn using here? What is Finn using here? Probably should have capture energied for this Lotad. I think maybe Finn could have capture energy for this Lotad. Let's go again. So Shady Dealings happens, right? Unless I'm missing it. So Shady Dealings happens. They maybe catch it a little bit later on. Oh, did they quick ball a net? Did they quick ball a net? They catch it? Okay, they catch it. I'm sure. That's what I'm saying. I'm assuming they catch it. Yeah, Shady Dealings. There's Shady Dealings in here for sure. The dealings are happening. Goes for Lotad. Xander reads Ludicolo. And then... Are they going to catch this Tad? This Tad, dude, this is a rogue Tad right now. This is a rogue Tad right now. All right, there we go. Level Ball for the Tad. Okay, they did catch it, yeah. This Tad just snuck out of the deck, bro. He broke free, bro. All right, get the Tad back in there. Or put the Tad in there legally. Legally in play Tad. And then 2 more cards. And Finn gets double. So the thing here, Finn doesn't have access to... Finn is out of Gust effects. Basically in this game, because Finn's last cross switchers in the last 2. Xander obviously does not know this. The double Scoop Up Net off the prize cards is pretty big for Finn, though. It gives him a lot of plays moving forward here. Set up like double Ludicolo plays and stuff like that, because I think Finn does have 2 rare candy left. And I'm pretty sure Finn does only play 3 rare candy. So Xander can get the KO on the Suicune here. But from there, that just allows Finn to go into the Shady Dealings Inteleon, and then Xander can't win on the following turn. There's no way for Xander to win the game. So Xander's in a pretty tough spot here, because I think Xander at this point is basically just run out of attackers. Xander just like doesn't have attackers anymore. Like Xander's gonna get this knockout. Shady Inteleon is gonna hit this Arceus if Suicune doesn't one-hit KO it, and then from there it's gonna be pretty tough from here. Let's see what Xander does, though. Xander does not have very good options. Has a lot of energy, a Sobble, and a what's it called. Not very many good options in the hand. And this is what I was talking about as far as, like... Alright, Beebs for 2. More energy and a Quick Ball. Holy moly. That is not good. So Xander has, like, all their energy in the hand. And, Quick Shooting active. Did not get the Scoop Up Net, though, it looks like. So didn't get the net. So they can't even KO the Suicune. The Suicune gets to survive another turn. And that could be game, honestly, for... Could that be game? Because the Choice Belt survives. 120, 200, 230, 330. Yeah, so Finn can just win next turn. Finn can literally just win the game next turn with a Candy Ludicolo. And Xander can't really afford to retreat here, I don't think. Could have actually... So Xander could have put the DTE active for the potential to be able to retreat, actually, instead of attaching to B-Barrel. If Xander whiffed. And then you retreat pass. Finn gets a prize card there. And then you're just hoping Finn doesn't have double cross switcher to close out the game on a 1 prize Pokemon. So there's the hit, and I think Finn will just have game here. Yeah, because the choice bell's not removed from play. There's the Ludicolo. Here comes Candy, Ludicolo, and there's the knockout, and Finn wins 2-0, actually. Yeah, I think Xander should have stressed getting, like, the Path to the Peak in play a little bit more aggressively. And then, like, benching the Bidoof, I mean, immediately, I don't know how Xander would have drawn if they didn't have access to B-Barrel for the rest of the game. It didn't seem like it did a whole ton, but benching the Bidoof, that gave Finn that first big knockout, right? If I remember correctly, that gave Finn that first big knockout kind of for free on Xander. Like, it kind of just gave him the free knockout on that first Arceus right here. So that Doof, he's causing trouble, bro. So yeah, I don't like that Doof bench there. But yeah, Finn wins 2-0 in top 8.